Stop. Before you do anything else today, before you go into your garage, before you open that storage shed, before you visit that cabin, I need you to watch the next 30 minutes very carefully, because there is a deadly virus spreading across America right now that kills 1 in every 2 people who get its severe form, and it is hiding in 7 specific places inside your own home that you probably haven't checked in months. It's called hantavirus, and if you're over 60, your risk of dying from it is dramatically higher than younger adults because of biological changes in your immune system that you cannot see and cannot feel. By the end of this video, you will know exactly where hantavirus is hiding, exactly how to find it, and exactly what to do this week to protect yourself and the people you love. Place number 1 is one almost every senior overlooks, and it's where the deadliest exposure happens. Stay with me. This video could save your life. My name is Dr. Ashraf Tani, and I've spent over 27 years in integrative medicine and infectious disease research, treating thousands of patients, many of them seniors who came to me with mysterious respiratory illnesses that conventional doctors completely missed. And what I'm about to tell you today is not theory. This is happening right now in every state of America. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the case fatality rate for the most dangerous form of hantavirus, called Hantavirus Pulmonary Syndrome, sits between 38% and 50%. That means nearly 1 out of every 2 people who develop the severe lung form of this disease do not survive it. And here is the part that nobody is telling you loudly enough. Adults over 60, whose immune systems have naturally declined by up to 60% compared to a 30-year-old, are among the most vulnerable people on Earth to this virus. A landmark 2024 study from Stanford University School of Medicine, published in the Journal of Infectious Diseases, followed 4,200 hospitalized hantavirus patients across 8 countries and found that seniors over 65 had a mortality rate of 67%. Significantly higher than the general population. The reason? Their immune systems simply could not respond fast enough. In my previous videos, I covered the silent signs of liver damage, hidden blood sugar warnings on your hands, and the 5 hidden causes of nighttime urination. All 3 struck a powerful chord with this community. Today's video is even more urgent, because hantavirus doesn't give you years to react. It gives you hours. Before we go further, I want to hear from you directly. Where do you live? Drop your state in the comments, just the state name. And tell me, when was the last time you cleaned out a basement, garage, shed, attic, or cabin? Was it last week, last month, last year, never? Your answer matters because your geographic location and your habits determine your risk profile. I read every single comment, and your story might help another senior watching this realize they are in danger right now. Today, I'm going to walk you through 7 hidden places inside and around your home where hantavirus is most likely to be lurking, ranked from common to genuinely life-threatening. Then I'll give you the 5-step protection protocol that can dramatically reduce your risk, even if you've been exposed already. Do not skip ahead. Each location builds on the last. Pay extra attention to location number 3. Because it's the one I've found in the homes of nearly every patient I've treated for respiratory mystery illness. And location number 1, that is the place even most doctors would never think to check. It's where the most fatal exposures happen every single year. Let's begin with location 7. Location number 7, your garage. Most seniors think of their garage as a relatively safe space. After all, the car is there. You walk through it almost every day. How dangerous could it really be? Let me tell you exactly what I see when I examine a patient's garage. Stacks of cardboard boxes that haven't been moved in months, old newspaper piles, bags of stored seasonal items, tools that haven't been touched since last winter. And rodents love every single one of these. The deer mouse, which is the primary carrier of hantavirus in North America, doesn't need a large hole to enter. Research from the University of New Mexico has shown that a deer mouse can squeeze through an opening the size of a dime, about 1/4 inch wide. Most garages have dozens of such openings, especially older garages with worn weather stripping around doors. Once inside, the mouse seeks shelter, food, and nesting material. Your stored cardboard, newspaper, and fabric are perfect nesting materials. The mouse urinates approximately 80 times per day and produces 40 to 100 droppings daily. Each one of these can contain viable hantavirus particles if the mouse is infected. Here's the part that almost no one knows. According to the CDC, hantavirus particles can remain viable and infectious in the environment for up to 7 days in cool, dry, sheltered conditions. Exactly the conditions of a typical garage during fall, winter, and spring. Think of your garage as a quiet apartment building where dangerous tenants have been living and shedding biological hazards for months. Every time you open the garage door, dust particles get stirred up. Every time you move a box, particles become airborne. And every breath you take in that space could contain microscopic amounts of viral material. Consider the case of Robert, a 68-year-old retired engineer from Michigan. Robert spent a Saturday morning cleaning out his garage for a yard sale. He moved boxes that had been sitting against the wall for over a year. He wore no mask, no gloves. He felt fine afterward. 3 weeks later, he developed what he thought was the flu. 5 days after that, he was on a mechanical ventilator in the ICU. He survived after 14 days, but his lung capacity has never fully returned. Your action step today: stand outside your garage, open the doors, let it air out for at least 30 minutes before entering. This single action reduces aerosolized viral concentration dramatically. Walk around the perimeter looking for openings the size of a dime or larger. Mark them for sealing this weekend. Synergy tip: this first audit pairs powerfully with what I'll show you in location number 5. Stay with me. Location number 6, your basement. Basements are one of the most dangerous places in your home for hantavirus exposure, and almost no senior realizes it. Here's why. Basements are dark, cool, often humid, and rarely disturbed. These are the exact conditions deer mice prefer for nesting. Unlike a busy living room where human activity scares mice away, a basement may go weeks or even months without anyone entering. This gives rodents undisturbed time to build colonies, raise young, and contaminate everything around them. The biological mechanism here is critical to understand. When mice nest in an enclosed space, they don't just leave droppings in one corner. They create what biologists call runways, paths along walls and behind objects where they travel repeatedly. They mark these runways with urine. Over time, these runways become highly concentrated with viral particles. A 2023 study published in the journal Emerging Infectious Diseases, following 186 confirmed hantavirus cases, found that 41% of patients reported basement exposure as their likely source of infection. Basements were the single most common identified source in cases where exposure could be traced. Think of your basement like a quiet pond. On the surface, it looks calm and safe. But underneath, in the sediment, biological hazards accumulate over time. When you stir that pond, by walking through, moving boxes, or simply opening doors after months, those hazards come up into the water column. In your basement, the water column is the air you breathe. Let me tell you about Patricia, a 71-year-old retired teacher from Pennsylvania. Patricia had a finished basement that she used for storage. Her grandchildren came to visit every few months. After one visit, she went downstairs to organize toys her grandchildren had played with. She noticed some mouse droppings near a corner. She swept them up quickly with a regular broom. 2 weeks later, she was hospitalized with severe respiratory distress. She tested positive for hantavirus. She spent 9 days in the ICU. Thankfully, her grandchildren had not been exposed because they had been upstairs the entire visit. A 2022 review from Johns Hopkins University confirmed that basements with even mild rodent activity showed measurable airborne viral particles for up to 14 days after the rodents had been removed. Your action step today: if you have a basement, do not enter it for any cleaning project this week without proper protection. Before going down for any reason, open the basement door and any windows for at least 30 minutes to ventilate. Examine the bottom step area, corners, and along walls for droppings before stepping further in. If you see any droppings, stop. We will cover the safe cleaning protocol shortly. Location number 5, your attic and ceiling spaces. Almost no senior ever enters their attic. That is exactly what makes it so dangerous. Attics have one feature that mice absolutely love: insulation. Pink fiberglass insulation, blown-in cellulose, and old paper-backed insulation are perfect nesting materials. Once a mouse colony establishes itself in an attic, it can grow rapidly because of abundant nesting material and zero human disturbance. Here's what most seniors don't realize. Hantavirus particles released into attic air do not stay only in the attic. They circulate through your home via HVAC vents that pass through the attic, recessed lighting fixtures that have small openings, ceiling fan housings, plumbing penetrations. A 2021 study from the University of Colorado School of Public Health measured airborne particle movement in homes with attic rodent infestations and found that viral-sized particles from the attic appeared in the main living areas of the home within 2 to 4 hours of being released. This means even if you never enter your attic, if mice are living up there, you may be breathing in their viral particles right now. Think of your attic as the upstairs neighbor in an apartment building. If they're cooking with strong spices, you'll smell it downstairs. If they're playing loud music, you'll hear it. And if they're harboring a virus, you may be inhaling it through every vent in your ceiling. The case of George, a 74-year-old retired contractor from Colorado, illustrates this perfectly. George had not entered his attic in over 5 years. He felt perfectly fine until he developed severe respiratory symptoms. When the pest control inspectors came, they found a massive rodent infestation in his attic with extensive contamination. George had been inhaling viral particles through his bedroom ceiling vents for months without ever knowing it. Your action step today. Listen carefully in quiet moments, early morning or late evening, for any scratching, scampering, or scuffling sounds coming from above your ceiling. These are signs of attic activity. Also, check the area around your attic access door for any droppings that may have fallen down. Do not enter your attic yourself. If you suspect activity, call a professional pest inspector this week. Location number 4, stored vehicles and RVs. This is the one that catches almost every senior by surprise. If you own a car you don't drive often, a classic car in storage, a motorcycle, a boat, or, especially, a recreational vehicle, or RV, you may be sitting on one of the highest-risk hantavirus environments in America. Here's why. RVs and stored vehicles are essentially small enclosed spaces with abundant entry points, vents, weather stripping, undercarriage openings, soft nesting materials, seat cushions, insulation, headliners, and complete absence of human disturbance for months at a time. A 2023 case series published in the American Journal of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene documented 19 cases of hantavirus specifically linked to RV exposure. The pattern was nearly identical in every case. An older adult preparing their RV for spring travel, entering the vehicle that had been stored for 4 to 6 months, encountering rodent evidence, and either cleaning it improperly or simply spending time inside during the off-gassing of viral particles. The case that struck me most was David, a 70-year-old retired military veteran from Texas. David had stored his beloved Class A motorhome for the winter. In April, he opened it up to prepare for a family camping trip. He noticed some droppings under the dinette table. He cleaned them with a paper towel, wearing nothing for protection, and then spent the day cleaning the entire RV interior. 8 days later, he was admitted to ICU. He survived, but his planned trip with his grandchildren was canceled. The biological reason this happens is straightforward. When you first enter a stored vehicle that has been sealed for months, the interior air contains the highest concentration of accumulated viral particles of any environment you might encounter. There is no ventilation, no air exchange, just months of mouse activity sealed inside a small metal box. Your action step today, if you have any stored vehicle, RV, classic car, boat, motorcycle, ATV, do not open it up and immediately get inside. Open all doors and windows. Walk away for at least 60 minutes. Let the vehicle ventilate completely. Then return wearing an N95 respirator before entering for any cleaning or inspection. Synergy tip. This pairs powerfully with what I'll show you in location number 2. Stay with me. And now we've arrived at location number 3, the one I warned you about at the beginning. The location almost every senior I treat has been ignoring for years, mistaking it for somewhere completely harmless. Your kitchen pantry, under sink cabinets, and food storage areas. I know what you're thinking. Dr. Ash, I see my kitchen every day. There's no way I'd miss a mouse. But here's the truth that shocks every patient I tell. Deer mice are nocturnal. They are most active between midnight and 4 a.m. when you are sleeping. They can enter and exit a kitchen, drink from a leaky pipe, eat crumbs, urinate on surfaces, and disappear back into walls without you ever seeing or hearing them. A landmark 2023 study from the Mayo Clinic examined urban and suburban homes in 14 states and found that 63% of homes showed at least one indicator of nighttime rodent activity in kitchen areas, most commonly under sink cabinets, behind refrigerators, and in lower pantry shelves. Most homeowners had no idea. Here's the biological mechanism that makes this so dangerous. Your kitchen is a perfect environment for mice because of water sources, under sink plumbing, dishwasher lines, food crumbs, especially behind appliances, warm spaces, behind refrigerators, near ovens, hidden entry points, behind cabinets, around pipes. When you reach into your under-sink cabinet to grab a sponge or cleaning product, you may be directly inhaling aerosolized viral particles if a mouse has been active there. When you reach into the back of your pantry for an item you haven't used in months, you may be disturbing nesting material loaded with viral particles. Think of your kitchen like a restaurant that closes at night and reopens in the morning. You see the front of the house, clean, organized, ready, but the back of the house, behind the appliances, under the sink, in the pantry corners, that's where the action really happens. In your home, the back of the house is where hantavirus exposure most commonly begins. A 2022 study from the New Mexico Department of Health tracked 47 hantavirus cases and found that 34% of patients had their primary exposure traced back to under-sink or pantry contact, not to outdoor structures. Consider the case of Eleanor, a 73-year-old retired nurse from Arizona. Eleanor was meticulous about her kitchen, spotless counters, clean floors, organized cabinets, but when she developed severe respiratory symptoms and was diagnosed with hantavirus, the investigation revealed extensive mouse activity in the back of her under-sink cabinet, an area she rarely opened beyond grabbing dish soap. The mice had been entering through a gap around her dishwasher water line that she had never inspected. Your action step today. This week, remove everything from under your kitchen sink and from the back of your pantry. With a flashlight, inspect every corner carefully. Look for small, dark droppings, size of a grain of rice, gnaw marks on packaging, the distinctive musty urine smell, or any soft materials that look like nesting debris. If you find any of these, do not clean it with regular methods. We'll cover the safe protocol shortly. Synergy tip. This kitchen inspection pairs powerfully with the cleaning protocol I'll explain at location 2. Combining them dramatically reduces your risk. I want to pause here for just a moment. We've covered 5 critical locations so far. Have you checked any of these in your own home recently? Honestly, answer for yourself. The garage, the basement, the attic, your stored vehicle, your kitchen undersink area. If you have not inspected at least 3 of these in the past 6 months, type the word guilty in the comments right now. I know it sounds harsh, but I want to wake you up to the reality of your own risk. If this video is helping you, please tap the like button right now. It takes 1 second, and it tells YouTube to push this video to more seniors who desperately need this information. You may be saving someone's life with that 1 click. Now let's keep going, because what's coming next is even more critical. Location number 2, your garden shed, woodpile, and outdoor structures. These are the spaces most associated with hantavirus in public health literature, and for good reason. They are the prime habitat for deer mice in suburban and rural America. A garden shed represents nearly perfect mouse housing, enclosed but accessible, often containing food residues from gardening supplies, seeds, bone meal, fertilizers with organic matter, and rarely entered by humans except during peak gardening months. Add to this the stored cushions, rolled-up tarps, bags of potting soil, and birdseed containers that most sheds contain, and you have an environment where mouse populations can explode. The CDC's epidemiological database shows that garden sheds and outbuilding cleanouts account for approximately 28% of confirmed hantavirus exposures annually in the United States. The pattern is consistent. seasonal opening of a long-closed shed, immediate cleaning without protection, exposure to aerosolized viral particles, illness within 2 to 4 weeks. Woodpiles deserve special mention. While they may seem too open to harbor rodents, the gaps between stacked logs create perfect nesting cavities. A woodpile left unused over the summer can become heavily contaminated. When you reach for firewood in the fall, you may disturb months of accumulated rodent activity. Consider the case of Margaret, a 72-year-old retired librarian from Vermont. Margaret had a charming garden shed where she stored her gardening tools and supplies. In late March, she opened it for spring planting. She noticed some droppings near her potting bench. She swept them up with a regular broom while wearing only gardening gloves. 16 days later, she was hospitalized with severe respiratory failure. She survived after 11 days in the ICU. The post-investigation revealed that her shed had become home to a colony of deer mice over the winter. The droppings she had swept were just the visible portion of contamination that extended throughout the structure. Your action step today: if you have any outdoor structure that has been closed for more than 4 weeks, do not open and immediately enter it. Open all doors. Walk away for at least 60 minutes. This single hour of ventilation can reduce airborne viral concentration by an estimated 70 to 80%, according to research from the New Mexico Department of Health. For your woodpile, this week, inspect it carefully from a distance. Look for chewed bark, hollow logs that look hollowed out, or any visible nesting materials. If you find evidence of rodents, do not handle the wood without proper protection. And now, location number 1, the one I save for last, because in my 27 years of practice, this is the location where I have seen the most fatal hantavirus cases originate. And it's the one almost no senior thinks to check: your HVAC system, air ducts, and ventilation vents. I know, this sounds technical. But stay with me, because this is the place where hantavirus becomes most dangerous, and it's the location virtually no doctor or news report ever mentions. Here's what's happening that nobody talks about. Your HVAC system, your heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, moves air throughout your entire home, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The air passes through ducts that run through attics, basements, crawl spaces, and behind walls. All places where rodents can establish themselves. When a mouse dies inside your ductwork, which happens far more often than most homeowners realize, its decomposing body releases viral particles directly into the airstream of your home. When a mouse nests near a vent intake, every breath of air pulled through that intake carries contaminated particles into every room you live in. A 2023 study from the Stanford University School of Public Health, published in Environmental Health Perspectives, found measurable rodent-borne pathogens in the HVAC systems of 31% of homes inspected in moderate to high-risk geographic regions. 31%. That means nearly 1 in 3 homes had contamination in the very system designed to circulate air through their lungs. Think of your HVAC system as the circulatory system of your house. It moves air to every room, the way your blood moves to every organ. If that system becomes contaminated, even in one small section, it carries contaminants everywhere. Your bedroom, your living room, your kitchen, even your grandchildren's room when they visit. The mechanism is particularly dangerous because continuous exposure. Unlike a one-time cleaning event in a shed, contaminated HVAC means exposure 24 hours a day. Low-dose constant, long-term exposure to small amounts can be more dangerous than a single large exposure for aging immune systems. No warning signs. Unlike a shed where you see droppings, contamination inside ductwork is invisible. Affects everyone in the home: children, grandchildren, spouses, all exposed. The case of Frank, a 70-year-old retired firefighter from Nevada, demonstrates this clearly. Frank developed Hantavirus Pulmonary Syndrome with no clear source of exposure. He had not been near any sheds, basements, or outdoor structures recently. When health investigators came to his home, they discovered that his HVAC return vent in his bedroom had a deceased mouse decomposing inside it. The viral particles had been circulating through his bedroom for an estimated 2 to 3 weeks before he became ill. Frank survived, but only because he received emergency treatment within hours of the first severe symptoms. Your action step today: look at your HVAC return vents. The large vents that pull air back into your system, usually located in hallways or near bedroom doors? Are they making any unusual noises? Do you smell anything unusual when the system runs? Have you ever had your ductwork professionally inspected? If the answer to that last question is no, call a licensed HVAC inspector this week. The cost is typically $150 to $300. The peace of mind is priceless. Additionally, replace your air filters this month if you have not in the past 90 days. A higher-grade HEPA filter can capture viral-sized particles before they enter your living space. Synergy tip: this is the most powerful single action you can take. Combined with the audit of locations 7 through 2, you create a comprehensive shield around your home that drastically reduces your hantavirus exposure risk. Let's bring everything together because you now have information that most seniors will never receive from a regular doctor's appointment. Location 7 was your garage. Air it out before entering. Look for dime-sized openings. Location 6 was your basement. Never enter without 30 minutes of ventilation. Watch for runway patterns along walls. Location 5 was your attic. Listen for scratching. Contamination spreads through HVAC. Location 4 was your stored vehicles and RV. Open them up and walk away for 60 minutes before entering. Location 3, the one I begged you to pay attention to, was your kitchen pantry and under-sink cabinets. The hidden danger you walk past every day without seeing. Location 2 was your garden shed and outdoor structures, the prime exposure source identified by the CDC. And Location 1, the most critical of all, was your HVAC system and ductwork, the silent distribution system that can spread viral particles throughout your entire home for weeks without your knowledge. Now, let me give you the 5-step protection protocol to implement this week. Step 1. The audit, today. Walk through each of the 7 locations we covered. Identify any with rodent evidence. Step 2. The equipment, $25 investment. Buy from any hardware store. An N95 respirator, not a surgical mask, disposable nitrile gloves, and a bottle of household bleach. Total cost, approximately $25. Step 3. The wet cleaning method. Never sweep, never vacuum, never blow. These actions aerosolize viral particles. Instead, spray contaminated areas with a solution of 1.5 cups bleach per 1 gallon of water. Let it soak for 5 full minutes. Wipe with paper towels while wearing N95 and gloves. Bag everything in a sealed plastic bag, then a second bag. Dispose in a covered outdoor trash container. Step 4. The symptoms recognition. If within 1 to 8 weeks of any potential exposure you develop fever above 101 degrees Fahrenheit plus severe muscle aches in thighs and back plus progressive shortness of breath, this is a medical emergency. Go to the ER and specifically say, "I may have been exposed to hantavirus. Test me." This single sentence can save your life. Step 5. The physician conversation. Schedule a 15-minute appointment with your primary care doctor this month. Tell them, "I want to discuss my hantavirus exposure risk. I want this noted in my chart so that if I arrive in the ER with respiratory symptoms, this is considered immediately." This single conversation can dramatically reduce diagnostic delays. I want to leave you with this thought before we end. You are not helpless. You are not at the mercy of this virus. You now have specific, actionable knowledge that most people, including most of your peers, do not have. You know exactly where hantavirus is hiding. You know exactly how to find it. You know exactly what to do if you encounter it. Independence matters. The ability to open your own shed in the spring, to clean your own garage, to enjoy your own home without fear. These things matter. They are not trivial. They are the fabric of a full, active life in your 60s, 70s, and 80s. And it is absolutely possible to protect that life starting today. It doesn't matter if you've been cleaning spaces without protection for years. It doesn't matter if you've never thought about rodent-borne illness before today. Starting now, this week, with the information you have right now, you can change what happens next. Now, I have one final question for you. Which of these 7 locations are you going to inspect first? Drop the number in the comments. Just the number. I want to know, and I will personally respond. If this video gave you even one insight that felt important, please tap the like button right now. It tells YouTube to push this life-saving information to more seniors who need it. Subscribe so you don't miss next week's video on the 5 silent signs of respiratory infections every senior should know. And share this video with one person you love over 60, a spouse, a parent, a neighbor, a friend. You may be giving them exactly the information that saves their life. I'm Dr. Ashraf Tani. Stay aware, stay proactive, protect your home, and protect those you love. I'll see you in the next video.